The military authorities in Niger, led by General Abdulrahman Chiani, just expelled the French ambassador in Niger. They also expelled the US ambassador and the Nigerian ambassador. The reason for the expulsions is because the new foreign minister called them to a meeting, but all of them declined the meeting. This signifies that they do not recognize the authority of the new foreign minister, not him alone, but also the authority of General Abdulrahman Chiani himself. Of course, that necessitated the expulsions. The three ambassadors were given 48 hours to leave Niger Republic. Only France is refusing to leave. We'll come back to that in a moment. The US ambassador, despite arriving a week earlier, already evacuated with a large contingent of US citizens and other servicemen. It's not clear if the Nigerian ambassador to Niger Republic is back to Abuja. Out of the three ambassadors that were given 48 hours by the military in Niger to leave, only France is saying that they do not have the authority to expel ambassadors. It seems that France is actively looking for a reason to violently invade Niger Republic. Right now, they do not have any reason. They are hoping that ECOWAS will invade Niger and claim that ECOWAS leaders called them to come and help them in Niger. That's what they are banking on, just like they did in Cote d'Ivoire. That of Cote d'Ivoire also had UN backing. There were many UN resolutions during the time. Right now, there's no UN resolution in Niger Republic. There's no backing. France cannot defend their invasion of a sovereign country. So by refusing to obey the authorities of Niger, it seems they want them to do something and they will say, you touched this person, you did that, we are retaliating. They're just basically looking for an excuse. The first time, immediately the military guys took over power in Niger, they told them that they have withdrawn from all the military agreements Niger signed with France, that they should close down their military bases and leave their country. France gave the same excuse, that they do not have the authority to withdraw Niger Republic from the agreements, that they are not recognized as the proper government in Niger. The same thing is repeating itself. Their ambassador is defiant, refusing to leave Niger Republic. Think of it like a visitor you welcome to your house, and after some time you say, hey, I don't want you anymore, can you leave? The visitor has no right to refuse to leave. He has no right to question your authority in your own house. This is exactly what France is doing. They can't question the authority of the Nigerian military. Yes, they staged a coup, which is against the law in Niger, but it's only against the law when it's not successful. Now they succeeded, they removed the former president, they are the authority in Niger. If you want to conduct business or do anything in Niger Republic today, you must meet the military men, you must meet the general. Emmanuel Macron's strategy in Niger Republic is actually very counterproductive. What are his aims and objectives? He can't refuse to negotiate with the military guys and still refuse to leave Niger. He's simply creating an unnecessary standoff, which shows that his ultimate intention is to violently remove them, no matter the cost. The Nigerian military will capitalize on their refusal to leave and use that to galvanize their citizens more in their support. Even people who don't support the military in Niger might be forced to support them now just to show solidarity and patriotism. Because Niger is a sovereign country, no matter how you feel about the military takeover. Power abhors a vacuum. The people in power in Niger today are the military. It's not Bazoum. You can't wish that away. Even some democratic governments in some francophone countries that France supports, some of them have done many things that can be equated or even worse than a military coup. What did France do? Nothing. They continue to support them. Simply because these leaders can be pushed around. They can get whatever they want from these kind of leaders. So the military being in power in Niger is not about democracy, it's just that they can't negotiate with them. Military boys are always stubborn, they are hard to negotiate with. And besides, some of the terms of agreements that France made with all the former presidents that were democratically elected, most of the terms in these agreements are in the favor of France instead of Niger. So you can understand why they don't want to negotiate with the military. They are telling them that they must leave power. Yes, they have the right to say whatever they want, hold whatever opinion they want, but the problem is, can they enforce it? That's why stopping ECOWAS military intervention in Niger is very important, because France can never justify a military intervention in Niger without riding on the back of ECOWAS. They will simply claim, hey, ECOWAS invaded and they invited us to help them out. That would be their excuse. So France is not acting in good faith. Their posture and actions can only mean that they still see Niger Republic as their territory, which is very wrong. Niger is a sovereign country that got independence from France more than 60 years ago. So France saying that they will not leave Niger Republic despite being told to leave might lead to an altercation. If you look at all the protests they are staging at the French military base, one day it might turn violent and something might happen. So it's better to avoid all this by leaving Niger Republic, leave them to their country, leave them to their fate. Maybe in the nearest future when they have a democratically elected government, you can come back again and negotiate. But for now, it is better to leave. Don't make it very open to the world to know that you can't live without Niger, that the French economy can't survive without Niger Republic, because that's the level, that's the understanding, that's what France is trying to tell the world. How can you say that they don't have the authority? Who has the authority in Niger? Is it Bazoum or is it Macron? Maybe Macron feels he has the authority over Niger because he rejected the resignation of their ambassador to Niger.
To activate the ECOWAS standby force with all its elements immediately.
On the side of ECOWAS, they are now talking in a different tone, unlike how they started before when they were threatening military intervention and all sorts of things. Now they are saying they believe in a peaceful resolution. The ECOWAS Commission President, while making the statement, concluded by saying,
"But if peaceful means fail, ECOWAS cannot just fold its hands. All measures will be taken as the heads of state, as the authority of heads of state have decided."
They still don't get it. This still sounds like they want to impose their will on Niger. Is it because Niger is a poor country? Let's imagine that this happened in Nigeria. Will anybody threaten Nigeria with a military intervention because there was a coup? Nobody will do that. So who made ECOWAS leaders policemen over Niger Republic? Their job is to convince them to quickly return to democracy. Their job is to convince them on the benefits of democracy as against military rule. And they keep saying that there are 12,000 ECOWAS troops that are ready to intervene in Niger, that there are this number of armored personnel carriers. When you mention all these, they will not take you seriously. They won't see you as a good faith actor. Meanwhile, Chiani signed a decree that authorizes the possibility of Malian soldiers and their Burkinabe counterparts joining the Nigerian military in defense of their country, in any case that the ECOWAS military intervention happens. So they are getting ready. They are not only focused on the peaceful negotiations, they are also getting ready to defend their country in case they are invaded. Also of interest is a Russian transport plane that was spotted on flight radar. It flew from Central African Republic through Cote d'Ivoire, and it seems the final destination is Bamako in Mali. This plane has been used in the past to transport the Wagner forces. So are they reinforcing in Mali in anticipation of something big coming up in Niger? Are they going to join the party? No one knows. It's completely unpredictable. All military operations are unpredictable. That's why the ECOWAS leaders should avoid any military intervention at all costs. If they truly care about ECOWAS citizens and Nigerian citizens, they should disembark. They should drop all plans of military intervention and pursue peace. But in any case that they can't resist or that they don't like the face of Abdurrahman Chiani, who is the current head of state of Niger, they can sponsor a counter coup. But to what end? What will they achieve with a counter coup? What if the counter coup leader succeeds and refuses to leave power? That means you are back to square one. So it's better to drop all military intervention plans and negotiate in peace. Encourage them and convince them on why they should at least form a transition government that will last nothing more than a year, so that they will get back to democratic rule and the new leaders will endeavor to serve their people, to prove to them that democracy is better than military intervention in politics, to give them the real democratic dividends so that people can be proud that they are in a democracy. A democracy where all the rules are obeyed, where all the different arms of government are independent, where human rights of citizens are respected, where politicians are not corrupt, where they don't steal money to launder to Europe and other developed countries, where they use these monies to develop their economies, where politicians don't have second homes in Europe and America. A democracy that will work for the people of Niger. That's what ECOWAS leaders should be preaching to these people. But it's not surprising because you can't give what you don't have. Most of these ECOWAS leaders have their own baggages. Some of them didn't win elections. Some changed their constitution in order to run for a third term. Some are suppressing opposition in their different countries. That's why ECOWAS citizens should lend their voice. If you don't lend your voice, that means you are complicit. You can write your representatives in the House of Assembly or National Assembly in your different countries. Tell them you don't support any military intervention in Niger, so that whenever or if ever your president brings such a matter to the National Assembly for approval, they will quickly reject them, like they've already shown. The Nigerian National Assembly have already passed a resolution condemning any military intervention in Niger. This is not for ECOWAS citizens alone. Wherever you are in the world, lend your voice any way you can so that these leaders will understand that there is no need for any military intervention in Niger. Look at what is happening in Zimbabwe today. The election wasn't a free and fair election. They are hounding the opposition. No one wants to say anything. No one wants to condemn. The African Union haven't said anything. It's not clear if they are monitoring the election. Their report will come after. But it's very necessary to always condemn these actions immediately they happen, so that the people taking these actions can take corrections if they can, so that they will understand they are not alone, that people are observing, that they are seeing what is happening.
We are accredited journalists by the Zimbabwean
You can't just come and take the picture. Who are you? Please tell us who are you? Why did you take our papers? Yes.
How can a country, after collectively fighting and struggling to get independence, they get that independence and a group of politicians now feels it is their turn to colonize their fellow citizens? Africans didn't fight for independence to be colonized by their own brothers. So the time is now for all concerned agencies to talk, to condemn what is going on in Zimbabwe before the situation escalates. Thanks for watching.